Once upon a time, in a big, bright city where the streets sparkled and the trees glowed, there lived a curious girl named Dorothy. Even though the city was full of lights, Dorothy felt like something was missing. She dreamed of a place where magic was real. One day, a big swirling storm came. The wind whistled through the city and seemed to call Dorothy's name. Suddenly, the wind picked her up and swirled her away from the city. When the storm finally settled, Dorothy found herself in a magical land. The flowers sparkled like stars, and the trees made happy, humming sounds. Dorothy looked around and noticed small, glowing lights floating in the air. These were the Munchkins, magical creatures that welcomed her to their land. They told her that by arriving, she had helped defeat the wicked mechanic, who had been making their world cold and lifeless. Dorothy felt amazed by the magical world around her, even though it wasn't like her home. Dorothy started walking along a shiny, golden path that sparkled like dust. As she walked, she came across a strange figure, the Scarecrow. He wasn't like any scarecrow Dorothy had seen before. He was part tree and part person, but he couldn't move because his roots were stuck in the ground. He wanted to learn about the world, but he couldn't leave his spot. Dorothy felt sorry for him and wished there was a way to help him. As Dorothy continued her journey, she met the Tin Man. But instead of being made of metal, this Tin Man was made of shiny glass. Inside his chest was a big, empty space where his heart should have been. He could see the feelings of others, but he didn't know how to feel them himself. Dorothy realized that the Tin Man longed to connect with others but felt cold and distant. Soon after, Dorothy met the Cowardly Lion. But this lion wasn't like any lion she had ever seen. He was made of shadows, always changing shape because he was scared. His form shifted and swirled, and he didn't know how to be brave. Dorothy wished she could help him find his courage. Together, Dorothy, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the lion followed the golden path to a magical place called the Emerald City. The city was full of tall, glowing green buildings that shimmered in the sunlight. But something about the city felt strange. Even though it looked beautiful, the people there seemed lost, like they had forgotten who they were. In the center of the city, they found the Great Wizard of Oz. Everyone said he had all the answers, but when they met him, they discovered he wasn't real. The wizard was just a glowing light, created by the city to keep control. The real power, he told them, was already inside them. Dorothy realized she didn't need the wizard to tell her what to do. She only needed to believe in herself. But their journey wasn't over yet. The wicked mechanic still had some power in the land, and he wanted to make everything cold and boring. Dorothy and her friends had to work together to stop him. The Scarecrow found the strength to pull up his roots and explore the world. The Tin Man realized he could feel emotions when he helped others, and the lion discovered his courage when he faced his fears. Together, they stopped the mechanic and saved the magical land. Dorothy knew it was time to go home. But this time, she wasn't sad. She had learned that magic was all around her, even in her own city. When she returned, she carried small pieces of her adventure: a leaf from the Scarecrow, a shard of glass from the Tin Man, and a little shadow from the lion. As Dorothy walked through her city, she smiled to herself. She knew that even though her home didn't look like the magical land she had visited, the magic was always there if she believed in it. Somewhere, over the glow of the city, she knew that magic was real.